Oh, when we were close, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, it's like coming back to me. Yeah, I mean, I think our defense is like there's things we can clean up on there, but we just like could not hit a shot, and then we're doing stupid fouls where they got so many and ones. A lot of their fouls were 3-point plays, so that's like such a killer. So I mean that's tough. Like fouling in those situations. How many turnovers did we have? 14 turnovers. 24 points. Oh, 16 turnovers, 24 points off of it. Like that's. Now they did that. 17 turnovers. Anyway, we're usually on top. I think just like those hard fouls where they get 3 points is really tough, and then we couldn't execute on the offensive side. We got close, like we came within, and then they just went on that run because we couldn't knock down shots, so it was tough.
Fee Sherrill said that their physicality really gave the Lynx trouble offensively tonight. Would you agree with that?
Yes, they were really physical. Obviously it's frustrating, but we have to. That's how people are going to play. The refs are letting us play this year, sometimes, and so we have to be able to work around that. Like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. You can't say anything about the refs. No one is saying like, oh, they won because of this or because of this. You only see the score. You see who won. And so we have to find a way around that. We have to be smarter on defense. We can't rely on anyone but ourselves because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We should execute on our own.
There might be talk outside of this arena or on this team. This was like a statement game kind of thing, and Lynx got beat. How do you respond to something like that?
That was a statement game?
Yeah. I mean, it's so early in the year for that, but the outside world might say it was.
I mean, this is like our 6th game. We were 0-6 at this point last year, and we ended up 4th in ranking. So, I mean, you just have to chug along. I don't think it's a statement game. It's so early in the year. It's a little early to be saying that. But I think it was a good game for us to have early. We can learn from it. And this is really the first team. I mean, Connecticut was pretty physical, but Vegas was, I think, a little bit more. And so I think it's a great learning opportunity for us because people are going to continue to do that. And now we know what it looks like, and we can learn from it.
A'ja Wilson is the Defensive Player of the Year for a reason. She was matched on you a lot this game. I believe 6 of 16 against 13 boards, 5 offensive. What is it like solving the puzzle that it is going up against A'ja Wilson, and what can you learn from this game to take into the next one as far as just that matchup and taking something away?
Don't touch her. I mean, yeah, Asia's really good, and so you really have to rely on team defense. You have to play really clean because, she's obviously she's been MVP. She's an MVP candidate every year. She's great on both ends of the floor, and so she's earned those foul calls. And so you have to be really clean in the way that you play her and bring your whole team because a lot of times in that one-on-one matchup, she's gonna execute.
Felt like in previous games, just things came easy for this team. I feel like every basket was hard. It was earned. As far as just game flow, how do you separate yourselves from that mentality and find your footing again? And with really the first game where we saw some serious friction on the Lynx side.
I'm actually really happy that we saw this because it's so much better to see it now in our 6th game than to see it at the end of the year in playoffs where we're getting punched in the mouth, and this is like the first time that we have to deal with this. Now we can look at film, we know what it feels like, we can scheme against it, and we know what it looks like, and so instead of just trying to continue to play how we've been playing, we can go into different things and get into things differently because we know that teams are going to play us physically. So I'm actually happy that we had this so early because now, again, we know what to do next time.
Yeah, you kind of half answered the question I was about to ask you, but when you're facing a defense that's this physical, what are the obvious counters? Because it seemed like your offense was a lot slower. You weren't able to really kind of get into the rhythm that you usually get into. What's the counter when you're facing a team that's this physical?
Yeah, I think we were just really ball watching and just so stagnant. When a team is this physical, you have to cut because that's the counter to that. Like if someone's going to be all up in you and they're trying to take away what you're doing, go back door, do slips, just do other things than break a play to make a play. Don't keep trying to force what originally you're supposed to do. We're all smart basketball players. We got to be able to adjust. And so I think that is something that we're going to take from this game.
In the first 5.5 minutes, you pulled down 8 boards. and you finished with 13 overall, but it took you like a long time to get another one. What happened? You know, after, I mean, I think that was the offensive foul or the offensive rebound when you were on your backside, and that was like your last one for like 12 minutes.
Yeah, I felt that. Like, the ball was just falling into my hands that first quarter. And I think just fatigue, too. You know, they're playing so physically. It's so hard to get to everything. Rebounding is really mental, obviously, and it's effort. And so I have to be better at that, not to conserve my energy. That's not what you do it is on defense. So I have to be getting in there more, which is what I try to do mentally in the second half a little bit more. And so, you know, that's on me. I can't slack off just because I'm tired.
Despite the problems on offense, that there were times when you simply just didn't make shots that were makeable as a team?
For sure. We did not shoot well. I mean, what was our percentage? Low. It was, 33% it says? 36%. It was really low. I mean, we did get good shots. Like, I missed some layups. We missed some open shots. Courtney missed some that she normally makes, some missed threes. I mean, what was her 3-point? 33. But, yeah, I mean, again, like, when they're making shots on offense, especially Vegas, they're such a good team. You have to be able to play defense but also score on the other end, and that's how they go on those runs. We can scheme all we want, but you have to make shots. And so, you know, it was off night for us, and, you know, kudos to Vegas because they played some really good defense, but we did miss a lot of the shots that we normally make.
We'll now pivot to the Zoom, starting off with Willie, then going to Brad.
Thank you. Hey, Fee. I've been in 2 Zooms tonight already. One of them, Asia answered a question, giving you your flowers. Another one, Tosh Cloud, I asked about the parity in the league and sort of the outside noise. And she as we all know, Tosh, she kind of went off in the fact that on the floor, this competitiveness, the outside noise, we're failing to appreciate it because off the court, it's nothing but love. Can you talk about the parity up and down the league and maybe what some people are missing when it comes to just the hard play and competitiveness that you know, players bring in, night out?
So if I'm understanding your question right, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of good players in this league. Are you saying that only some people get recognition?
No, what I'm saying is that it seems to be, and Tosh's point was that the outside noise is pitting everyone against each other and causing hate instead of appreciating the competitiveness that's being brought every single night.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, we need to focus on ourselves. I think the talk is great for the league. You need people about the league. You need people talking good about the league. You need people creating villains in their heads, creating rivalries, creating the narrative. Like, I don't think, like, everyone wants everyone to do well when you're not playing them, you know, and then it becomes really competitive when you're playing against them. But, I mean, I'm honestly not mad at the narrative. Like, obviously, you know, you're not trying to hurt people when you go out there, anything like that. But it is really competitive, and it's fun to watch, and it makes it fun for viewers, too, if you think this is a rivalry game or if players are going head-to-head. So I like that there's commentary around the game. And I think, you know, again, when you're not playing each other, we all support each other. You want people to do well because that's what's good for the game. You know, you don't want everyone to suck because no one's going to watch. You have great people every night going head-to-head, and so I think that's what's going to grow the game, and so I'm happy to see, like, the discourse around it.
Thank you.
Brad?
Yes. Hi, Fee. Speaking positive about your defense, in the first quarter, Las Vegas did not get any points off your turnovers. How do you feel that balance has to be, like, during the latter half of the ball game where you don't have the teams getting points off your turnovers?
Yeah, turnovers has been a huge focus for us this year. It's just been way too high, honestly. We're having really bad, so many turnovers that are avoidable. You know, a lot of them weren't coming from the defense. It's just us not focusing. And those have to be cut down because you are going to have, like, real turnovers, and people are going to score off those. So to give them those easy ones, even if they're not converting to points, we lost a possession. You know, we're not getting that shot up. So it hurts in that way. So that's something that is a really big emphasis for us and something we really need to clean up.
Thank you, Fee.
Fee, one more thing. You brought up an interesting point, conserving energy. In hockey, you have lines. In baseball, it's baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Soccer, the ball moves around the field. In basketball, when you're a starter, it's a little bit different. You're averaging a career high in minutes. do you see it as when you're out on the court, it is a sprint 100% of the time, or what are those points you can serve? Because there is a delicate balance where you probably can't be sprinting all the time, but in certain matchups, in certain cases, that is what required. How do you handle that stamina and sustaining your energy?
I mean, first of all, I think it comes from taking care of your body, like working on the off season. I worked really hard in the off season to get stronger. And I think I generally have a pretty high motor. So I don't know, like I'm usually pretty good at managing that. I don't know. I don't feel like I ever usually like take breaks. I think the only time is like for rebounds, I get back instead of diving in there. Because if you haven't known Cheryl before, like you're not really allowed to take breaks on the court. Otherwise you're coming out. But I think just playing smart also, like you're not trying to get every single steal, you're trying to stay in the play. Not everything needs to be a home run play. A lot of times those take a lot of effort and you don't cash out on them enough for it to be worth it. So I think just playing smart on defense, playing smart on offense, getting to your spot, not trying to do really hard things. I think I tried to do too many hard things tonight, and that's probably what led to me being tired, especially like in the paint. And so yeah, just being smart in the way that you're playing.